to 19.1, guys.
God, you're so weird.
No?
That was good.
Did it do it for you? No? Okay, so every Thursday night we're going to put out a video with a warm-up. You can find the long form of the warm-up in the details of the video. There'll be a link there so you guys can see it and share it with people. We're going to talk about our initial thoughts. Some of these will evolve and change. We'll be doing most of our updates on these thoughts live in person here at the gym and also in our private community online. We're not going to be posting multiple videos each week with our second thoughts after we see more athletes go. So these are going to be very preliminary based on what we saw during the announcement and what we saw from one of our athletes that are performing it in the gym on Thursday night. So 19.1, guys. What do we got?
New movement or not?
Predictions?
No.
No.
No
okay.
new movements.
Don't
take my 2 movements. I already told you.
No, I'm not. I don't get into the predicting thing week 1. I get into it when it's really easy to predict.
Week 5?
Yeah, I always get week 5.
What's that?
I do feel like it's gonna be like the Open. I think it's been a little too overhyped.
It's just gonna be the same.
Look, there's obviously been a lot of changes. Those changes don't seem to be very pro-competitor. The way that they've gone about announcing these changes is definitely not conventional, and it seems like registration for the Open is suffering as a result.
It feels like there's less hype for the Open.
There's most definitely less hype about the Open. There's even like less stress here in this gym. This time of year is typically like a very high stress time for all of us.
Would you agree with that, Laura?
How do you feel right now in comparison to like previous years?
I feel
totally not
scared.
Stressed out.
I'm okay.
Well, like this time of year is usually like, I don't know, it feels like it's way more competitive.
Always.
And our workflow is usually way more chaotic than it is right now.
Somebody made a good point earlier that we're not doing the workout tonight either, so that's going to make workflow a lot
that's why
easier.
I'm like way more comfortable than I normally am.
That's a good point.
I do feel good that I'm not getting ready to do the workout.
I'm ready to join the team.
I do think that it will be just like normal Opens. I hope it will be.
Yeah.
And I hope that they're not going to buy into...
Oh, here we go.
I hope that they're not going to buy into all the strict hype and all that stuff that people are teasing and talking about.
I really hope we're not going to get strict pull-ups.
Yeah. I think the best strict exercise
is push-ups.
handstand push-ups. No, honestly, strict handstand push-ups are easier to judge than strict push-ups.
Oh, of course.
Than push-ups.
But hand release push-ups are not that hard.
Yeah, they are. With the hip being on the floor, they did hand release push-ups in 2011, and it was a freaking mess across the board. It was push press, box jump, and hand release push-ups, and people were very unhappy about how those were standardized.
Right.
So I personally don't see that.
That is a really hard standard.
Yeah.
Totally, because when you have overhead stuff or handstand push-ups, you have the whole line standard. With a push-up, what do? Your shoulder? What about the hips then? There we go.
We're not going to watch this in French, right?
We're going to have to...
There's no other stream on right now.
Oh my god.
Who knows French?
Minute AMRAP
Okay.
of 19 wall ball shots and a 19 calorie row.
Oh, fuck.
That's it.
That's it.
That's a good one for you.
My initial reaction is, you'll do fine. Sam's going to murder that.
Maz, that sounds pretty simple. That's going to burn quite a lot. We'll probably should move out as they set up the floor.
Okay, so...
And I was right with the couplet. And all balls.
Wow.
What's up?
What do you think about that announcement?
I think it's... Do you prefer that announcement?
What do you mean, like that over Dave doing his whole thing? I don't know, man.
As much as we make fun of Dave, I kind of like enjoy this.
Yeah, I mean,
build up in the hype.
19.1.
it's like years of us being
Wall
going.
shots.
19 calories.
Well,
And that's it.
Yeah, that was not a very
I'm just gonna have a chat.
exciting announcement for
How do
sure.
you feel about that workout?
I'll tell you what is like very deceiving in that workout. So first, I think that transitions in and out of the rower is going to be a big thing. Huge. Placement of where your rower is going to be in relation to where your target is going to be a big thing. I'm curious to see if the wall ball shot height is standardized across the board or not.
We're going over it right now.
So that's something that I'm curious to see. But that is, it's a very simple couplet. And simple couplets are workouts that can really con people into moving a lot faster than they should way too soon. Because you can do a couple rounds of that really fast and still have a lot of time left over.
A ton of time.
Yeah. I mean, I hate to beat a dead horse, and I'm probably going to say this every week, but pacing is going to be huge on this one.
No, but this is like legit.
Yeah.
Even elite athletes are going to have to know where to pace a little bit on this. Where to stop and get a couple seconds of rest. Where to breathe. There's nowhere to hide on that.
Yeah.
Like, there's no spots, there's no long transitions, there's no equipment to move, there's no weights to change. Like, you're just going the whole time.
Yeah.
Except for strapping yourself into the rower and
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Loosening them up.
That's why I feel like transitions are going to be very important on this one. I feel like people traditionally will like take a lot of time and in a workout where I don't know. I haven't really thought about this too much, obviously at this point. But let's say like 10 rounds is something that people are like knocking on the door of. The time it takes you to strap in, get out of your rower, transition in and out, how you address the rower from the left side, from the right side if you're not consistent.
Or if you take 2 extra seconds every round.
Yeah, that definitely, like 2 seconds in one round is not a big deal. But
if
you're trying to
2
be,
seconds longer than someone else, it is.
if you're trying to be best in your country, or top 20 in the world, or like put up a serious score, that matters tremendously. You know? What do you think a good score is going to be?
What do you think a good score's going to be?
12 rounds?
Yeah, I think like over 10. I think that there's people who do 20 calories on the rower in an EMOM.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So if that's like a doable
100%.
piece in a...
I think Laura's pretty accurate there. I think 12 rounds is going to be a really good score.
Yeah.
I think you'll see people knock on the door at 12.
I know watching her is going to really give everybody a really good benchmark because you'd be hard pressed to find
Oh, it's a great workout for Sam.
too many women that are going to beat Sam in this workout.
Yeah. No, and she'll have a top 5 to 10 score in the world.
For sure. Absolutely.
What's a 9 foot?
The small target, though. What's on the wall?
drawing.
Yes.
Yeah, it's not the high one.
Oh, so I'm not doing it on the rig.
Not doing it on the rig. Okay, so you're gonna have to give up something somewhere, I think.
I mean, the wall ball.
You want to break up the wall balls from the beginning?
Yeah, because
I think I would just plan a break in the wall balls, no matter how you feel.
We got to give up somewhere. I think we either have to plan the break on the wall balls from the beginning, or you're gonna have to pace
wall balls take
up
shorter.
on the row.
So I'd rather give it on the wall ball.
Okay, so 10-9 from the beginning. Okay, how do you feel about putting the rower in the rig?
I would put it under the rig.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Like
Okay,
facing
let's
that
pick a
way.
spot. It's a good spot. So, what you're not used to on this, well, this doesn't have the same feedback like you're used to on these. That, like, the advantage if you're doing this in a gym where your targets are set with those is those have feedback and they kind of spit the ball back at you. So you can kind of set up further away from a target that comes out of your rig like a metal target, right? It like has feedback, you like feel it. This is gonna drop a lot closer. So I think you gotta mark your feet position is gonna be very important for like consistency purposes. And I think you should play with it because if you're used to setting up further back, it's not gonna come back at you. These are gonna fall a lot straighter. So like the major advantage is you're tall and how much shorter it is. We only train at 10 feet. We don't change the weight for we don't change the height. But I want you to play with this a lot to really dial in what you're comfortable with.
She has got a good couple of strokes ahead of Kelly and Zach.
Sam's just so good on the rower, she can pace herself and build.
Yeah.
You can tell she's been building. She came off the rower last first
Oh, absolutely.
round.
I mean, that's one of the things we always see from Sam.
I think if you're good on the rower, that's where you
She
want
went
to work
for
the pace.
7.5 minutes, and then she
You don't want to have
started
to
to make
break
her
wall
move.
balls if you don't need to.
So halfway through, she makes a move.
Not a great workout to do. Your third day of keto.
Whoa, hell no.
Third day. Under like 15 net carbs every day.
And it's very easy to like roll it back than be a little bit too conservative and have like an unknown, like not knowing what hard looks like. So let's do what you gotta do. I have some more thoughts on the rower, but for right now, when it comes to wall balls, let's not break.
I had way too much left at
Did
the
you
end.
break the wall balls?
I had too much left at the end. No, I didn't break the wall balls, but you can go a lot harder in the beginning than you think you can.
Gotta get a good balanced one.
This feels balanced, right?
Huh? I thought she was going to do a little better, to be honest with you. I thought she was going to go closer to 11. You felt 12.
Oh no, I'm saying aggressive the round, the row.
No. I didn't say the row. I said her average. No, dude, her average
Round. Oh.
was 140.
I thought the row. I was like, what the?
No, she's just testing the rowers because that one felt crunchy.
Okay, you just switch it.
Like when it's not.
You know exactly what a crunchy rower is, Martha.
You know what a crunchy block is?
Who's warmed up?
Nick? He left already though. What do you need?
I want someone to do
Wait, what?
a set of wall balls and a set on the rower. Just to see how long it takes. Yeah.
What?
So, if you were doing the workout, you're doing wall balls, how would you get on this row? Sit back?
It's gonna stay there.
Yeah. Can you do that again?
Just step over.
Yeah. Rower at like a 26, 27 stroke rate. Stop. Take the split on both. I'm having to do 3 rounds.
full? I raced, fuck me, bro. Every fucking time. This is bullshit, right?
No, it's all good.
Yeah, add a clock to that.
Yeah,
You
but
can?
I gotta see if it's good. Sorry, second time would be better.
She does not want to do that right now. Yeah. $19.1, guys.
God, you're so weird.
No?
That was
Did it
good.
do it for you? No? Okay, so every Thursday night we're going to put out a video with a warm-up. You can find the long form of the warm-up in the details of the video. There'll be a link there so you guys can see it and share it with people. We're going to talk about our initial thoughts. Some of these will evolve and change. We'll be doing most of our updates on these thoughts live in person here at the gym and also in our private community online. We're not going to be posting multiple videos each week with our second thoughts after we see more athletes go. So these are going to be very preliminary, based on what we saw during the announcement and what we saw from one of our athletes that are performing it in the gym on Thursday night. So as you know, 19.1 is a 15-minute AMRAP of 19 wall ball shots and 19 calories on the rower. The warm-up is going to include a lot of hip hinging and glute activation. Both of these movement patterns are very dominant, again, with hip hinging. So regardless if you have a very healthy spine or not, regardless if you are the kind of athlete that is very squat dominant, we are going to prescribe that everyone spends a considerable amount of time warming up their squatting pattern, warming up their hip hinging pattern, etc., etc. So again, this is the very long form version of the warm-up. It'll be in the notes so people can follow on there. We have some brief notes here from Laura and Sam, both doing 19.1. I'm going to repeat this a lot, but this workout is going to be all about pacing, and I think the pacing, structure, and strategy for everyone's going to be very much individualized. I think that people are going to have to reverse engineer this workout, so they should probably pick a target and then work back and set up your splits according with what your goal is going to be for the workout. I don't recommend that anybody just has a dry run at a workout like this. I think everyone should have some kind of a strategy. Here in our program, we're big fans of your first attempt in a workout being a more aggressive one. So feel free to pick a more aggressive strategy, but you just had a tremendous opportunity watching one of the fittest women in the history of our sport do this workout in Sam Briggs. This workout is also one that is very good for her. Both of these movements are very good for her. She's one of the best rowers in our sport, period. She has been for a long time. So that's a very good benchmark for all of you to have, regardless if you're shooting for top 20 in the world or you are shooting for first place in your country or best in your gym. Seeing someone like Sam, even though she did it at a suboptimal time, she probably will repeat it again, and I could see her squeezing out a few extra wall balls on the next round. That is a very good bar that was set for everyone, and you can strategize based on that. Her score might be so good that she doesn't care at this point, but this is such a... I know, she'll say that she doesn't need to repeat it. Monday morning will come along, she'll wake up and she'll feel good about herself, and she'll probably do it again.
She's done it before.
Yeah, and really this is one that you absolutely could repeat a few times. There's, if you're training high volume, which you probably should be around this time of year, and you're used to volume and you have been for quite some time, this is absolutely one that you could repeat. There's nothing about this workout that's really going to make you that sore. Yes, 190 wall balls will make most people sore, but this time of the year you should be training at such a high volume that repeating this is not really going to make or break it for you. I think that you should assign 2 different people in this workout. Having a judge is obviously mandatory, but secondly, having a pacer or someone to take your splits and to make sure that you know where you're at and you are on pace is something that's going to be very important. Unless you're the kind of athlete that likes the field to be laid out, so to speak, where it's like very quiet and you know exactly where you have to be, more power to you. But I think for most people to focus on exactly what they have to, having a pacer with you is going to be very big, and probably most of the workouts, but most definitely for this one. Moving on to the emphasis of the pacing, I think that most people are going to have to look at where they're going to give something up. So someone like a Samantha Briggs, someone like a Brent Fikowski are going to be so skilled and they're so tall. This is obviously a workout that favors someone of that structure. I think that they're not going to really have to give up anywhere. Their focus is going to be on overall pacing of the entire structure. However, I think most of us, normal folks, are going to have to pick somewhere where they want to give up, whether that's taking very small planned rests in the wall ball shots from the beginning, or that if that's changing your pacing structure on the row. I think that most people are going to have to look at one or the other and pick where that's going to be. I will say that I think a great rower can take a break on the wall balls. People at the absolute top of this sport are not going to be doing that. So if someone's so efficient, but they're really worried about how much they're going to blow up on the rower, if you have a collegiate rowing background, you might want to consider that. But honestly, with that being said, those folks are more than likely going to be so long, typically, that that's not going to be a necessary part.
And if you're good at rowing and can regulate your intensity and your pacing, you should be fine.
Yeah, I agree. In regards to the rower, I think that stroke rate is going to be a big focus for many people. I know that in our sport and in our program, we have people that are very long, aggressive, powerful rowers. We also have some folks that feel way more comfortable training in an aerobic zone. So if you watched Laura do the video just now, Laura feels way more comfortable in that aerobic zone. Laura is a very powerful athlete, but when it comes to a 15-minute long piece, she's not going to attack the rower in such fashion. So for us, we had Laura target about 30 for her stroke rate. Most people will probably be looking at something like 25 to 28. But that was huge for Laura, and I think it paid off. She feels very comfortable in that longer aerobic zone than trying to row for calories, so to speak. Most people, when they're rowing for calories, are going to have much longer, slower, powerful strokes with a much lower stroke rate. So regardless of the kind of athlete you are, I think you have to adopt one of those strategies and stick to it. 15 minutes is a long time to be playing with your stroke rate. And I think that there's not necessarily a right or wrong, but you have to have one of the 2 philosophies that you lock into. Do you agree?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah? Okay. So I think also setup on this one is one that's very important. Here in our gym, we have men and women both trained to the same target. We have the kinds of targets that stick out from our pull-up rig, and they give you feedback when you throw the medicine ball to the target. They almost bounce back, and you can feel the tempo and the timing that the ball is going to come back. We also have 9-foot targets spray painted on our walls, which give a completely different kind of response. I think that if you have the targets or you have the ability at your gym to lower targets so they give you more feedback, and the owner of your gym and the coach of your gym is willing to do that for you, I think that's something that is huge and can be very, very beneficial. Laura did not do that. I don't know that she really had to. She will probably not repeat this workout. If you really need the stars to align for you, I think that's one adjustment. That's one easy adjustment that most people can make. Secondly, I think setup of where you're going to position the rower in relation to the wall ball, I think is huge. If you take 2-3 extra seconds every round throughout the course of the 15 minutes, that is a lot of time. So I know that breathing during transitions and resting during transitions is very big for some people. However, over the course of a 15-minute workout, if you're looking at trying to get into that 7 to 10 round range, I don't think that that's ideal. I think that you need to transition really well, and you need to ramp up your pace on the rower. So a quick transition from med ball to the rowing machine I think is going to be important. We illustrated that in the video very well as far as how many steps that Laura took. We had Laura count her steps from the wall ball shot into the rower, and her transition I think was very consistent throughout the whole time. Around the 7th minute, I had her start her rowing tiny bit slower at like a 26 stroke rate and ramp up, and that was purposely so her transitions can be smooth and she can start her rowing pacing, breathing on the rower before she built up intensity to the 30 stroke rate. Breathing is going to be a very important piece for this workout. We had some of our general population clients warm up, and they did a couple rounds. I had them do a couple rounds of wall balls, a couple rounds of just the row. We had them do 2 rounds of the whole thing mixed, and you can just hear people's breath starting to dictate what their pace is going to be. And if you start this workout and you start at something like a 130 pace, which is doable for 3 rounds, you are going to be toasted by the 6th minute of this workout, and it's the kind of structure that you're never going to pick up pace after that happens. Once your legs start to fill up with blood, it's going to get to the point that you're not going to have the ability to recover or catch your breath or regulate your breathing pattern at that point. So I think that starting with a focused, well planned out pace and breathing pattern is going to be huge. The last thing that I'll say is you definitely, regardless of the kind of athlete you are on the rower, you want to maintain a workable and aerobic pace for this whole workout until minute 12 and a half, minute 13 or so. That's definitely where some folks start to see the wheels come off, and I think it's important to push towards the end of this workout. Absolutely, but the overall pace should be a very breathable, workable aerobic pace. For more information on our programs or joining our team, you can visit our website, www.teamsoultraining.com. Every week we are going to post our initial thoughts on strategy. We're going to post some thoughts on pacing, on warm-ups, on YouTube. Everything else will go on our website, and the rest will be posted on our private community. So if you want to join that community, once again, it's www.teamsoultraining.com.